For centuries, the galaxy had forgotten the name of Earth. Aliens spoke of humans only as a story, a weak species that vanished after one final war. No one searched for them. No one cared. But one silent night, deep beyond the outer rim, something strange happened. A faint signal appeared in the void. Weak, broken, but real. It carried an old human code. Commander Reth of the Zarn Dominion leaned forward in his command chair. His yellow eyes narrowed as the signal repeated again and again. Ea's Vanguard. Returning home. He laughed softly. Impossible, he said. Humans are dust, but the scanners did not lie. The signal came from the old Sol sector, from the ruins of Earth itself. Across the stars, the news spread fast. Empires that once destroyed humanity began to whisper again. Who sent the signal? Was it a ghost? Or had the humans survived somewhere in the dark? Far away beyond the reach of any alien eye, something stirred. Engines that had slept for generations came to life. Deep inside an asteroid field, hidden lights flickered on. A woman in a worn uniform stared at an old Earth flag on her console. Her voice was calm but cold. They thought we were gone, she whispered. They were wrong. The forgotten world was no longer silent. Humanity, the species that refused to die, had just sent its first message in 300 years. And across the galaxy, fear began to grow once again. In the cold shadow of a distant star hidden inside an asteroid field, lay New Dawn and the last human colony. For generations they had lived in silence. No one outside the colony even knew they existed. They mined the rocks, grew food in metal domes, and whispered stories of Earth, a home none of them had ever seen. Captain Mira Holden stood on the command deck of the colony's largest ship, Eve's Valor, her eyes fixed on the small flicker of light on the screen, the signal from Sol. The sound was faint but clear, EAS Vanguard. Returning home, the control room went silent. Some officers froze in disbelief. Others cried quietly. For decades, their ancestors had dreamed of this moment, a sign that Earth still called to them. Mira turned to her crew. Her voice was steady, filled with quiet power. They think humanity is gone, she said, but we're still here, stronger than ever. Across the colony, alarms began to sound, not for danger, but for awakening. Engines that had not been used for a century came alive with deep thunder. Dock doors opened, revealing massive steel ships covered in battle scars and dust. Children ran to the viewing ports, watching as glowing ships lifted from the dark rocks. Old soldiers stood tall again, tears shining in their eyes. The Earth fleet, once broken, once forgotten, was rising from the dark. And as the first ships left the asteroid field, Mira whispered to herself, "This time we don't hide. This time, we go home." The stars ahead shimmered like a promise, and like a warning. The news of the human signal spread like wildfire across the galaxy. Alien empires laughed at first. Ghosts, they said. Old machines still running. But near the edge of the Sol system, something began to move, and something big. The Zarn Dominion, rulers of half the galaxy, sent their scout fleet to investigate. They expected ruins, maybe scraps of old satellites. What they found instead was silence. No signal, no movement, just the cold pull of Jupiter's shadow. Commander Reth's fleet drifted close, scanning the void. Then, one by one, his ships began to vanish from radar. At first, he thought it was a system glitch, until his main screen flickered. A shape appeared in the darkness behind his flagship. Massive, silent, sharp as a blade. A voice came through the comms, deep and calm. "This is Admiral Reyes of the Earth Fleet. You are trespassing in human space." Reth froze. That voice, human, clear, real. Before he could respond, beams of blue light split through the void. The Zarn ships exploded like sparks in the dark. Other alien fleets across nearby sectors picked up the broadcast. It was not static. It was a message and a warning. We have returned. This time we defend our home. Across the stars, alien leaders whispered in fear. Humanity, the species that no empire could ever fully destroy, had come back from extinction. And this time, they carried weapons that no one had ever seen before. The storm had begun to gather, and for the first time in centuries, The galaxy trembled at the name. Earth, the void above Earth, burned once again. After centuries of silence, the Battle of Sol had begun. The Zarn Dominion sent a massive invasion fleet, hundreds of warships glowing red against the black sky. They expected a quick victory. No one had ever stood against them, but this time, the humans were ready. From behind the moon, the Earth fleet emerged, sleek silver ships with glowing blue engines and strange energy cores pulsing like hearts. Admiral Reyes stood on the bridge of his flagship, East Titan, his eyes calm and steady. For every world they took from us, he said, we take the stars back. The first human strike came like thunder, massive. Cannons fired blue energy beams that sliced through the Zarn frontline alien. Cruisers shattered into burning debris. The humans called their new weapons thunder lances, and the galaxy had never seen such power. The Zarn tried to fight back. Plasma storms filled the void, lighting the sky with red fire. But the human ships moved fast, using strange warp bursts and invisible shields. They were ghosts in the storm, striking, vanishing, striking again. Inside the Titan, crew members cheered as enemy ships fell. One officer whispered, "We're really doing it. We're winning." Admiral Reyes didn't smile. His voice was cold but proud. "No. We're reminding them who we are." The final blast tore through the Zarn command ship. Silence filled the void once more. And for the first time in centuries, the humans had taken back their home system. But Reyes knew the war was not over. The galaxy had seen their fire, and it would soon strike back. The war was over, but the stars still burned. Wreckage of alien ships drifted through the black sky above Earth, glowing like dying embers. The once broken planet now shimmered with light, cities rebuilding, signals returning, humanity breathing again. Across the command deck of the EAS Titan, Admiral Reyes stood before a glowing hologram of the galaxy. Dozens of red markers, enemy systems, flickered across it. He pressed a single command. The markers turned blue. "Transmit," he said quietly. A deep hum filled the ship as the message broadcast through every known network, every alien frequency. The voice of humanity spoke once more after centuries of silence. "This is Admiral Reyes of the Earth Fleet. We are not extinct. We endured. We rebuilt. And we remember." The message echoed across worlds, through alien cities, battle stations, and empire palaces. In some places, leaders trembled. In others, armies prepared for war. But among the common races, those long enslaved by the Zarn, hope began to rise. They whispered the new words like a prayer. The humans are back. On New Dawn, Captain Mira watched the message replay. Children crowded around the screens, their faces glowing with pride. For the first time they saw Earth, blue, alive, and free. The galaxy had changed forever. Humanity had not just survived. It had returned as a force that no one could ignore. And as the Earth fleet spread through the stars, carrying the flag of a once-forgotten world, a quiet promise filled the void. Never again will we be forgotten. The universe listened, and it feared. Peace returned slowly to the stars. The echoes of battle faded, but the name Earth still traveled like thunder through the galaxy. Every empire, every colony now knew one truth. Humanity was alive. The Earth fleet moved across the stars, not as conquerors but as guardians. They rebuilt stations, helped broken worlds, and freed those once enslaved by the Zarn Dominion. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy began to see humans not as ghosts, but as protectors. On the deck of the EAS Valor, Captain Mira Holden watched the sunrise over Earth. The planet glowed like a jewel, blue and bright, surrounded by countless human ships. Children born in the colonies would soon set foot on their homeworld for the first time. The lost world had become home again. Admiral Reyes stood beside her. His uniform was worn, his eyes tired but proud. "We came back from extinction," he said softly. "Let's make sure it never happens again." Mira smiled faintly. "We won't hide anymore," she said. "We build, we protect, and we remember." Far beyond, in the dark edges of space, new signals began to appear. Unknown ships, new threats, new worlds waiting. But this time, humanity was ready. The Earth fleet stood strong, engines glowing like stars. As the camera drifts away from Earth, a single voice echoes through the void, calm, powerful, and eternal. They thought we were extinct. But humanity never dies. The screen fades to black. The sound of distant thunder rolls one last time. The sound of engines, of power, of hope. Humanity's legend had only just begun.